YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel where we're talking all things real estate, from land wholesaling to private lending to ground up development. You saw the title, you saw the thumbnail, you want to make some money. You probably didn't know that you can make money as a loan officer without having an NMLS license. Excuse me. I'm about to go ahead and show you. All right, so for those of you who don't know what hard money is and private money is, they essentially came into play, I guess, like on a national level, right after the 2007, 2008 housing market crash. And the reason being was because banks were kind of tight on lending on real estate during that time period. And if they did, the terms weren't favorable for investors, right? So that kind of opened up a marketplace for institutions to kind of pull their resources together and form these companies and make these, loans and get these returns, right? And when I say institutions, I'm talking family, dentist office, doctor's office. I'm talking insurance companies. We're talking wealthy individuals as well. So think about that when I'm talking about institutions. They're pulling their resources together. They may start with small fund of 1 million, maybe 5 million, and the job of who they have in charge of their loan servicing, who they have in charge of underwriting, um, in charge of lending and stuff like that. It's their job to go out and provide the returns that they agreed upon, uh, while they make money as well. And if you don't know, pretty much how lenders make money in that aspect of it, through loan servicing and origination points, and they may have some sort of spread. So like if they're getting the money at 7%, right, and they lend it out at 10%, you see that there's a 3% buffer in there, right? So that may be negotiated with the institution, right? Or that may be what the company gets to keep. And then on the origination, so like typically the origination can be anywhere between 1 to 3%, sometimes 4%, just depending on uh, the deal, depending on the borrower. And since some shops are different, it's not the same across the board, right? So some shops have more favorable terms than others. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to give you an overview of what it is. So it's private, right? So you're not working in a bank. Typically, these people are going to be lending to investors. Okay, so you're not going to have your traditional FHA, non QM loans, um, your VA loans. They're not going to lend typically on personal homesteads, and that just means a house that you plan to live in. You can do a short-term rental, you can do a long-term rental, you can do a fix and flip, ground up new construction. Those are typically going to be the loan products, and they do portfolio loans as well. So, how do you make money doing this? Well, essentially, it's the same rules apply as if you were a loan officer. I think the biggest difference, a lot of times, loan officers, they typically eat what they kill. So it's not a salary position, right? I mean, you have a good commission structure. It's kind of like you're as a real estate agent, right? You eat what you kill. The difference with private money, they typically have a base salary. It's not that high. I would say anywhere between 35 to maybe 40,000, 40,000 being on the higher end, depending on what state you're in. But I'm in Texas. From what I've seen, like companies are going to typically, if they're paying you a salary, they're going to be paying you 35,000 to 40, with an expectation of you to be doing anywhere between 1.5 to $3 million a month base, right? And that's just in closed loan amounts. So you need to be out there. You're kind of building a business for yourself, right? But you just have money behind you to back you up. Now the commission structure, a lot of these are favorable to where if you are doing 1.5 to $3 million a month, you're more than likely making about I would say 8 grand a month, right? And that's on the low end. Top producers typically, they're going to lend out about 120 million a year. So if you're doing 10 million a month, you're doing well over six figures. I mean, you're probably doing 150, not even 150, 170, 200K a year if you're lending $10 million a month. And I know like that's number, it seems like it's high. Like, how do you even do that? It's about uh, knowing what niche that you want to cater to. So if you're a person like me, I look at it like ground up development is going to typically cost the most, right? So if you can do, you have like a all-in-one loan where they're going to bring in the horizontal along with the vertical, but we're underwriting it as one loan as opposed to underwriting the horizontal and then we're doing a refinance into the vertical. It's all one loan, right? So you might need to do all the site work and stuff like that, and then this could be a 10 unit, a 15 unit, something like that's probably going to be north of $1 million, north of $3 million. So that lets you know that you need to go after those type of clients, right? Nothing's wrong with the smaller mom and pop, probably doing 10 to 12 or maybe 15 projects a year. Um, it's just when you want to get to that dollar amount, you're not going to start out doing 10 million a month, right? That's going to take you probably a year or two to get there. But if you consistently are at 5 million, 3 million, 5, 8, 2 million, like if you're consistently there, you're building that client base, you're going to be able to get there. And this is a business where you don't have to have any experience. If you have a sales background, if you sold furniture, you sold cars, you tried drop shipping. I remember when I was in high school, they had people selling them knives and shit like that. If you believe you could sell and you have a history in sales, where that's solar sales, and you're looking for, something that this like long term that you can transition into something. Because I mean, like me, this is what got me into wholesaling land, was being in private lending, where I was like, damn, I'm on the back end, but if I can find lots, I can wholesale these lots to these builders, make that assignment fee, refer them to my company, underwrite a loan for them, give it to whoever LO that I feel like giving it to. They're making money, they're happy. I'm happy based off of the total amount closed in a month. So like it's a win-win. So imagine you, and like I said, you're creating your own business. So imagine you're learning land wholesaling from this page, right? Okay, so you got your stuff set up like that. You have your CRM set up like that. One half of it. Then the back end is you underwriting the loan for these builders. So you're providing such a value, like you're a one-stop shop. I'm finding you the land, right? I'm wholesaling you the land. So, I understand, like I mentioned earlier, the salary wasn't that much. But if you can do an extra, at that point, if you do 2 deals a month at $3,000 each or $5,000 each, you're going to be able to stay afloat and keep stuff going, keep focusing on trying to build a book of business, right? So, and you don't require a license. A lot of shops don't require a license. There's some that they're private money, but they do. And I'm not sure why, honestly, because a lot of their sites, like I know on Lima One, I didn't really see any traditional products on their site, but when you get on with them, apparently they require you to get a NMLS license, and they don't require it before you start, it's after. But there's a lot of shops, a lot of private money, pretty much all hard money, damn near. You don't need a license to do it. You just have to go in there with an understanding, like, I got to learn this shit. And it's not a 9-to-5 job. So if you've been in sales, you know that. If you thinking you're going to go into this industry, the lending industry, even if you got your NMLS license, if you think you're going to go into this industry and come in at 9 and leave at 5, you're not going to make shit. This is a business. It's your business. You just have a brand behind you. That's how you have to look at it. So wherever your marketing avenues are, whether you're going to start going to title companies and trying to network with escrow officers to try to see if they'll float you some business if you close there, right? You're doing meetups, you're in Facebook groups, you're trying to get on podcasts with other professionals in your market. you're networking with realtors, you know, like you're going to these big lending conferences and stuff like that where you set a booth up. You have to be boots on the ground, always commenting. Like you have to do this stuff. Cold calling businesses and letting them know, hey, this is Savion with ABC Lending. I'm giving you a call. Saw that you were doing some real estate projects out here in Houston. How's that been going for you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the calls probably won't go well every single time, but I promise you, if you stick at it and you have a routine, you have a plan, you have your CRM in place, you have to ingratiate yourself with this shit. You'll make some money. You'll get over 200K a year easily. It might take you 2 to 3 years, maybe even 4, depending on how adamant you are and the time that you're willing to put into it. But if you 18, 19, 20, 21, well, it don't even matter the age. If you a male or a female and you trying to get, like, you want some fucking money, you tired of dead end type jobs and shit, and you want career growth, this is where it's going to be at. Especially if you're interested in this stuff. If you're already looking at real estate videos online all the time, you went and got your real estate license and you don't really use it that much, or you know, you're looking at like how you can supplement some income, this is a perfect way to do it. Because if you have your real estate license and you're active, you have access to the MLS in whatever market that you're in. So if you're trying to build a book of business in that market space, and you know you're looking at deals, you're doing preliminary underwriting on deals, you can look at real market data. You can see what the builders are selling on the market. You can give them a call. You have access to that information. So I mean, me personally, I really believe, like, if this is something that you're interested in, why not take a shot on it? It's really not a bad deal if you think about it. You know, most places are going to give you health, dental, vision. You're going to get sick leave, you know, PTO, all that. 35 grand base plus your commission. If you can commit to something, you know, if you're willing to work on weekends, I'm not saying every weekend, but you got to fall in love with the business. You got to be soaking shit in. You got to be learning. You got to be following up. You can't be scared to talk. Sometimes say, I don't know. Let me get on the phone. Let me get on with someone who's more experienced and let's walk through this. And it's really not complicated. Like, I'm telling y'all, it's not complicated. Once you understand that pretty much everybody has the same products. All the shops pretty much have the same products. It's just some may require more documentation than others. And I've touched base a little bit in previous videos, but some require appraisals, some don't, right? Some are going to require you to have at least done one deal and can provide a settlement statement in order to even get you terms. Some won't even fool around with you, right? Your construction draws, some draws may cost more than others. Some may request an inspection to actually send somebody out there. Some might have a portal for you to take the pictures and send the pictures through that particular portal, right? It's just, that doesn't matter, but the products are essentially the same. And when you realize that, it's not more so like who has the better terms, who has the better rates. Because if I, as a lender, I give a builder some great terms, and great terms would be looking like 10%, 1.5 origination with 92% loan to cost. Oh my God, they can have great terms. But if my draws take 3 weeks to get out, my inspector takes 2 weeks to get out, you know, like that, at that point, it's costing the builder money, because it's like, what the fuck? Now your project that you thought you were going to be out in 90 to maybe 120 days, now you sitting in it 170 days, but and this is to finish it. You still have to list it. You see what I'm saying? So you have to just know that when you're trying to build a book of business with these type of clients, it's the rates and terms and stuff like that. Like, some, they care about it. Don't get me wrong, because when you talk to these people, they'll ask you, what's your rates? it's up to you to navigate those objections, because it's like you're more than a rate. Like you might get better terms at Kiavi, but is that rep that you're talking to, do you think that person's going to answer you at 7 o'clock on a Sunday night when something arises, pops up? You think they're going to come to the job site, visit, shake your hand, and check on, come to the closing, send you land opportunities, more opportunities, and stuff like that? You think they're going to do that? You have to separate yourself. That's it. But I'm telling you, if you follow what I just said, you're going to be able to make some money. You're going to be able to change your life. You'll be able to, if you start right now, you battle it out. I guarantee you by the time June, July of next year hits, you'll look at your bank account and be like, God damn. I guarantee you, or especially around this time next year, you're gonna see, damn, you bought yourself something nice for Christmas this year. You bought your family something nice for Christmas this year. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. So that's pretty much all I have, y'all. I just want to get this out to you. If you are interested, definitely shoot me a comment, shoot me a DM on Instagram, email me. Like I can kind of put you in the right direction. We can always hop on a call, something like that. But if you have that sales background, if you have any type of sales background with real estate, that'll help you out a lot. If you like the video, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell on. Like I'm starting to get in a groove. I like making these videos. I have a lot from my experience in real estate. Like my goal is to try to stop people from going down certain paths that I went. Like if you don't gotta trip over the same hurdles I did, then don't do it. And that's the purpose of me posting this content. Like I don't want you to do that. Like if your route is you want to be a realtor and that's what you love showing houses, you love recording content out, you like talking to clients, whether it's buyers or sellers, cool, stick to that, but find a niche in that and hit it hard, right? And then maybe down the line, if you have the capacity to get your NMLS license or get into private lending and make some more, then cool beans, right? If land wholesaling or maybe wholesaling in general is something that just interests you and you want to tunnel vision that, cool. Just pick something in this shit and just make some money. That's what it boils down to. Pick something in this shit, let's make some money, right? It's like the information is out there. You got to evaluate deals. You got to pick a market. You got to pick your zip codes. You got to pick up the phone. You got to call. You got to make offers. You got to talk to end buyers. You got to talk to sellers. You got to follow up with sellers. Then you got to follow up after your follow up with the sellers. You got to be, you have to be attentive to title. There's a lot of moving parts. That's why it takes a team to get a deal across the finish line. That's why real estate, they say real estate is a team game. It's a big community, but it's a small community. I'm telling you, get in this shit now. Watch the videos and be setting up your CRM while you're watching the video. Be picking out your market while you're watching the video. And hit the ground running. So with that being said, let's close some deals in 2025. I'm out.